You are here with What If Sportscast. I'm Tim. This is Kyle.
Yo, what's
and
up, everybody?
We are What If Sportscast.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We got a really good one for you. This week, we're talking about what if Wayne Gretzky never got traded. The infamous trade in 1988 that sent him from the Oilers to the LA Kings is still, to this day, probably one of the biggest trades in sports history. Not just NHL history,
trades,
but in sports history.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. And we got pages of notes. We're going to get into
the great
it.
one, man. He is the best. He's the GOAT. There's really not much of a debate. I mean, if you just look at some of his stats, it's beyond video game numbers.
Yeah, you would think they're made up because they're that absurd.
Mm-hmm. 1,669 points in 696 games.
That's a 2.4 points per game average. And to put that into perspective, for this year, Connor McDavid, his highest single season points per game pace is 1.88.
Which is insane. 2.4 points a game?
Yeah. It's like
that means they're scoring most likely at minimum 3 goals a game.
Yeah.
And he's in all of them.
Yep.
He has an assist or a point or a goal in every single one.
Yeah.
7 Art Ross trophies, 8 Hart trophies.
Yeah.
That was before the trade.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
It's insane. And then one of the craziest ones is if you erased every single one of Gretzky's 894 goals, which is a record.
He holds the most ever. Ovechkin's going to beat it, but he has the most ever.
Yep.
You erase all of those.
If you erase all of those, he'd still be the NHL's all-time leading scorer just off assists alone.
1,963.
It's insane.
That's just mind-boggling, man. 50 goals in 39 games in 81-82.
Yep.
That's crazy.
The previous record was 50 goals in 50 games by Maurice Rocket Richard, which, fun fact, the award for most goals in a single season is named after Richard. They call it the Rocket Richard Trophy.
Which it should be the Gretzky. Honestly, every single thing should just be called the Gretzky Trophy. Yeah. Gretzky 1 trophy, Gretzky 2 trophy,
exactly.
Everything. No one else in NHL history has ever cracked 200 points in a season. Which, just think of 200 points in a season.
Yeah.
There's 82 games. 200 points in a season is absurd. Gretzky did it 4 times, dude.
It's insane.
4 times. This is all before the trade, everyone.
Yeah.
Before the trade. 215 points in a season, still his record.
Yeah.
That same year, 163 assists.
Yeah.
He was averaging 2 assists per game for an entire year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that
playoffs? Are you kidding me?
It's just insane. Like, how in the world do you see this guy and it's like, yeah, we'll trade him?
It's almost like the Luka trade, but even more absurd.
Yeah, it would be like
it's just
adding
Kyrie Irving also,
and 5 first-round picks or something.
That's equivalent to Gretzky.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. 9 MVPs in 10 years. 8 straight before he got traded. 8 straight MVPs.
Yeah. It was basically just, like we said, the Wayne Gretzky Award. It was like you could start the season and be like, all right, should we just ship you the award now, Wayne? Like, how do you want to do this? Like,
dude, it's just so crazy. And it's not like Gretzky was like past his prime. He was 27 years old when this trade happened.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You win 4 cups in 5 years.
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky, he was probably just like a cheat code if sports betting was a thing back in then. But yeah, talking of cheat code, we're going to give a shout out to Avo. Avo is a sports betting dashboard that in a way is a cheat code. It's helping you win thousands of money. It's helped thousands of people all across the world. It's super, super easy. Anyone can do it. You just log in. It gives you all these bets to make, how to, like, what bets to make, like what sports and everything. So we're going to have a link in our description. Click on that to sign up. But
Go check out Avo for sure,
awesome.
guys. Yep. Kyle uses it. He always tells me about his winnings.
Yep.
You know, he never has the losses.
All I do is win.
Yeah. But this trade, man, it was so absurd that the Prime Minister of Canada called it the day Canada lost its innocence.
Yeah.
They even Canada was trying to figure out how to block the trade.
Exactly. They treated it as a national tragedy. The fact that the Prime Minister called himself on the phone to Wayne Gretzky and be like, hey, how can we block this?
Yeah.
Because this is absurd.
Yep.
It's like, this is a sports team. It's not anything crazy, but they're treating it as that because it was.
Yeah. And the crazy too, it wasn't just Gretzky that they gave up. They gave up 2 other players as well. Marty McSorley, which he was kind of Gretzky's enforcer.
Yep.
Maybe LA said, hey, we're not taking him without him kind of thing, you know? And then I don't even want to say.
Mike
do you want to try?
Krasinski.
Sure. You know,
Yeah.
3-time Stanley Cup champion with Edmonton.
Yeah, it was a
gave up him as well.
solid two-way forward.
Mm-hmm. Edmonton received Jimmy Carson, and he was a young star, started kind of coming up. Young,
just scored
20,
55 goals for the Kings the year before.
Martin
Galinas, I think.
Hockey names are so hard.
They are.
But he was a top overall pick, top prospect, 7th overall pick in that 88 draft. And then 3 first-rounders, which ended up being really nice. However, one never played in the NHL. Yep. One was traded before Edmonton. And then the other one played just 2 NHL games.
Yeah,
so those first-round picks were just a wash. The biggest thing in that trade, though, for Edmonton at the time, $15 million in cash, which is equivalent to around $37 million today.
Which that, in hockey terms, is just mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. That's absurd amount of money for that amount of time.
Yep.
To put that into perspective, before the trade, the Kings were only worth around $20 million. So you're basically almost saying, we'll give you the whole entire team value for this one player, basically.
Yeah.
Even though they did get 2 other players as well. But yeah, for that amount of money is absolutely insane. And we talk about it, even in the NHL today, money is not nearly as much as NFL and NBA. So even today, $37 million would be absurd. It would be
for sure
huge,
especially in hockey. I mean, you just see Rantanen just signed a $12.5 million per year, and that's a big contract for NHL. Yeah. So you're talking about 3 top players now, kind of thing. But the biggest thing is the Oilers owner, Peter Pocklington was broke.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people.
He was broke. He had a few different businesses that were all going under, and he was in financial stress. But yeah, so a lot of people believed that that's why he was traded. Some people even joked that Wayne Gretzky was sold and not traded because it kind of seemed honestly. Like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In a way, he kind of was.
Obviously, $15 million is a big deal now, but $15 million back then is a crazy amount of money, you know? I mean, it's just, I still don't. You win 4 out of 5 Stanley Cups. Should have probably won 5, but we're upset by Calgary.
And then
you have the MVP 8 straight years.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time, and he's still only 27.
Exactly.
And he's already the greatest hockey player of all time.
Yeah.
The great one.
I think Pocklington, Gretzky was set to become a free agent in that 1989 season. So I think he feared heavily that, hey, he's just going to walk and I'm going to get nothing for him.
But in my head, why? Though, why would he leave? He has all this success with Edmonton.
Yeah.
He loves it. There's no reason why he would leave.
If he was broke, though, and, hey, he can't
pay him?
Yeah, can't get, hey, you're going to have to take a pay cut or something to stay here.
And maybe he would have.
I don't know if he would have done that.
Yep.
Because he would have been saying the same thing. It's hold on. I am the greatest player in the NHL, and you can't pay me what I think I deserve. Yeah, I love Edmonton, but that's messed up.
Yep.
I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I completely see, and I think it's valid for having that fear. it just sucks, like, that situation that he was in, I guess. But
I guess, man. I think he's ostracized by Canada.
Yeah.
After this, even though Edmonton won the cup the year after they traded him.
Yep.
Because they still had a lot of pieces. Mark Messier is on their team.
Yeah, they were still a playoff team, a very good team.
So maybe it didn't matter. Who knows? But after that, their success, obviously they still were in playoffs and stuff, but they never won another cup. Yep. And it's just, like I said, Canada kind of ostracized him, honestly.
Yeah.
And
I think also, like, LA Kings owner McNeil, he said he had been pushing for the trade for months. It wasn't just like a call one day and, oh, yeah, that sounds good to us, we'll do that. He'd been pushing for it for months. He thought the trade was a way to Americanize hockey because LA Kings, like, they were not a very big team. They were they were struggling heavily. Like I said, they're only worth around $20 million.
The Lakers
were everybody wanted to go to the Lakers, the Dodgers. So it's like, why would we go to the Kings games when they suck? Like, I'll rather go to the Lakers and Dodgers games.
Yeah.
So McNeil thought this was a way to put the Kings and really all of NHL on the map for America.
Yeah. It's interesting when it happened too, because Gretzky had just gotten married.
Yep.
And
to Janet Jones.
Yep. She's an actress. There's rumors that she wanted to move down to Hollywood to pursue an acting career.
Yeah.
And it's, who knows if that is, or if that was just kind of a coincidence, because they've said that, people have said that about a lot of different players as well.
Yeah.
But could that have said something like maybe Gretzky said, hey, I don't know if I'm going to re-sign, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it messes with me because Gretzky at times has said he felt betrayed by Edmonton.
Yeah.
He kind of did not see this coming at all. When his press conference came that he was going to LA,
he broke down in tears. Yeah, he was devastated by that. So he said, he was shocked by it. He never thought it would happen. And it was such a shocking trade to everyone. Because, he wasn't just the best player in the NHL. He was the face of the NHL. Mm-hmm. He was globally known.
Exactly.
Around the world.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know.
Do you think there's a conspiracy? This is probably a hot take, but do you think the NHL rigged the trade because they knew they needed to help the U.S. market?
See, it's tough for me to say that because neither of us were alive when this trade happened.
Yeah.
I don't really ever remember watching Wayne Gretzky, even as like a kid.
Yeah.
So it's only stuff that I'm reading. Well, when you're looking at stuff like that or like reading stuff, obviously it's from different perspectives and like you're seeing, I didn't live it. So like we talked about a little while ago, like, hey, did the NBA conspiracy, like, was it conspiracy that Michael Jordan, was he suspended for gambling? Like, because I kind of was in that and just different stuff.
Yeah.
It's different when you actually like live it and like you kind of like see this is all stuff that we're like reading. Well, when you like are searching stuff like that, usually it's always the other side saying like, oh yeah, of course it's rigged, because the people that are like, no way it's rigged, they're not going to write about it because they're like, no, it's not rigged. Kind
why
of
would
thing.
they? But
it's a very interesting thing, and especially the owner saying, hey, he wanted to Americanize hockey and stuff, and he brought the greatest player ever in his prime to America.
To one of the biggest markets.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much LA or New York are the two biggest markets. And so it's an interesting thought kind of thing. Yeah. But I personally, like, I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't.
I don't see how they would have rigged it.
Exactly. And it's not like it was. They got 3 first-round draft picks. Yeah. They got these other guys as well, you know. And so it wasn't like, hey, we're going to trade Wayne Gretzky for 1 first-round pick and a player, kind of thing, you know. And so it's not like they didn't get
they got
some stuff in return, but it's mind-boggling to me that it even happened.
Yeah,
that we're even talking about this. I think Wayne Gretzky, and just in different interviews that you've had or he's had, I think he wanted to play in Edmonton his whole career.
I agree.
And I think they would have won 3-4 more Stanley Cups possibly.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, guys, if you can hear, my daughter is crying upstairs. I hear her. Yeah. Sorry, she must have fallen or something. So I apologize for that.
But yeah, I agree. And I think it's just one of those things that, like, there's too many coincidences or too many, like, weird things about this trade that just kind of, like, all happened that it maybe was rigged. But like I said, I don't know how they would have rigged it.
Exactly.
And, like, the Edmonton, like, they still won a Stanley Cup a year later.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's like...
And they still had players,
exactly.
You know? I mean, it wasn't... But, like I said, if they have Wayne Gretzky, I think they win that cup. I think they win more as well.
Oh, yeah,
because
for sure.
Wayne Gretzky just excels it that much more. So, now they win the cup, but, okay, it's a lot closer. With Wayne Gretzky, it's not even close. No. You're just winning the cup kind of thing. Yeah. And you're probably winning... at least favor the next few years as well.
I think the biggest thing that would have the biggest ripple effect from Gretzky if he never got traded is the expansion. So post-trade, the NHL expanded into San Jose in 1991, Anaheim in 1993, Florida in 1993, and Nashville in 1998.
It's crazy that San Jose and Anaheim back-to-back 2 years.
Yeah.
Right after Gretzky comes to LA. Because they already have the Kings as well.
Exactly.
And so to get back-to-back that close is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, Disney said they only created the team because hockey was booming in California.
Did Disney own them to start?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Because I know they had the Mighty Ducks and the movies and everything. And, dude, the Mighty Ducks might have never happened.
Exactly. Every hockey fan loved the Mighty Ducks. They watched that growing up, and it's like, if that never happened...
It's funny because I remember, so the Avs always have been my number one team.
Yep.
But my number two was the Mighty Ducks.
Exactly.
Ducks,
I think me too. I loved them. I loved the movie and...
the logo, everything.
The logo.
I think, honestly, every kid around that age, for the next 10 plus years or whatever...
Yep.
I would say their number two team was probably the Ducks.
Yeah, number one or number two. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
It was. I'm pretty sure. Well, I remember having a hat with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks on it and different stuff. You know, and it's just. I mean, even though Avs fan all the way, but it was very interesting, and so it is a very big ripple effect, and they probably were going to have expansion.
Yeah.
Anyways. But it's crazy that two California teams came right then too, as well.
Especially now, like looking at San Jose and Anaheim, like they haven't really been successful. Like San Jose now is one of the worst teams in the league. They have a lot of young players, so they could get better. Anaheim, though, they're always like in that bottom 5 to 10 range.
They were pretty good right in that 03-ish range.
Yeah.
Like Paul Correa, Taylor Solani, they were pretty good.
Like they've been good.
Sebastian Shigure.
I'm saying like you don't really think of like Anaheim as a
hockey team.
They're a hockey team. Like they're.
It's honestly almost like the nostalgia more than anything.
I would say like Anaheim is like the Orlando Magic. Kind of like, hey, they've had some good seasons and good years, but
majority of the time they're not
good
kind of thing. Yeah,
kind of.
Yep. If Gretzky stays in Edmonton, does he even get more absurd records?
Yeah.
Does he hit 3,000 career points? Kind of thing.
I think he does.
Because. Yeah. It's not like he fell off, but obviously you're not playing with Mark Messier, Hall of Famer, so and you have this you've been playing with these guys for 8 years.
Yeah, you have that chemistry, and
exactly.
Almost exactly where they're going to be on the ice, and
as much as crazy as his stats are, how crazier do they get if he stays in Edmonton?
Yeah, I mean he was averaging 2.4 a game, so. You just think
even if he drops down to 2.
Exactly. That's still
or even 1.5 a game. It's still insane.
Yeah.
I think his assists go even higher than what they were.
Yeah. I think he would have averaged, like we said earlier, no player had ever gotten 125 assists in a single season. I think he almost would have averaged that.
Over 120?
Yeah.
Honestly, it could have.
Probably would have been like 4 or 5 seasons of him just, that's like a given.
Like 4 or 5 more seasons? Yeah. And he already had done it 4 times.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah, it's just, dude, I don't even like understand it. But it also, with him going to LA, it was huge in the TV ratings boom in the US as well. Kind of like what we were talking, like, hey, kind of Americanized hockey almost in the America, because at that point, it pretty much was Canadian teams winning the Stanley Cup, like in that, at least that age, because Calgary won, Montreal all won a couple, and
Edmonton,
it's very like
it was dominated by Canada and US. Like they just couldn't quite crack into that extra like oomph or whatever to get in. But TV ratings was a huge step up in the 1987 Stanley Cup final, so the year before the trade. TV ratings were a low 2.9 by ESPN, meaning 2.9 million homes were watching. That 1993 season, so after the trade, ratings had jumped up to 4.7, so 4.7 million people were watching. So that's a 62% increase.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Is it because of the LA Kings, or is it because Gretzky was back in it too, kind of thing? That could have, but that helped for sure, because the more people that watch, obviously, then they get more excited for the following year. Exactly. And it's like, hey, let's.
I think it also is just like, because it makes sense. US is a bigger market for a lot of things than Canada. So it makes sense that, hey, if it's big in US, it's going to be bigger. So they had, before Gretzky, like before the trade, the NHL had no major US national TV contracts. After it, they signed a major deal with Fox in 1994. So that alone put hockey into people's homes. They started watching. It's not just on ESPN anymore. You can tune on Fox and all that. But the average team before the trade was worth around $50 million. The Kings were worth less than $20 million. And NHL revenue was under $400 million per year. Post Gretzky trade, by 2000, NHL revenue had doubled, over $800 million. The Kings were over $100 million themselves.
And I don't know if this is necessarily because of the Gretzky trade. I'm sure it had something to do with it, like it helped, but it obviously, it's, as you just see, it goes up. It eventually will go up. Maybe it just kind of accelerated it a little bit, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's still just like so crazy that I'm sure it did probably ripple effect and probably excelled those TV deals, kind of thing, because they're like, hey, all right, the American teams kind of they're starting to get it. I mean, the Avalanche, they ended up winning, and Pittsburgh was in there. Mario Lemieux,
so that post trade, it helped other teams as well, because hey, now Pittsburgh is not Pittsburgh. Now Edmonton is not
this
as
juggernaut.
Good, and
they're still good, but they're not a juggernaut where it's like, hey, you're going to be in the Stanley Cup every year.
So, like you said, it helped Mario Lemieux. He played for Pittsburgh, another U.S. team. It helped them excel, and Mario Lemieux started to become the face of the NHL and best player in the league, kind of thing.
Yep, they won 2 cups in a row with Gretzky staying in Edmonton. Do they win those cups, kind of thing? In 91 and 92. And if Gretzky stays, you're probably not, like you said, you're not getting as much chances to become that face of the NHL necessarily, kind of thing, at least at that time, maybe a few years down the road. And so, and like we were saying, no more Mighty Ducks possibly.
Yeah.
And
childhood's ruined.
Exactly.
Man. Like,
man. It's so
how
crazy to think.
How many people now, like,
Or even hockey fans.
Yeah,
just
or
hockey
even
fans
hockey fans. Or maybe there's some like players even in the league that's like, hey, I'm not even a hockey player now because
of Goldberg, man. I didn't see Goldberg.
Yeah. So it's like it's
Charlie Conway,
crazy.
man. It's just it's kind of crazy. They could have honestly helped some NHL careers. Who knows? You know.
I mean, there's a chance that hockey might not even be in California right now.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, but
come on,
probably not. But like,
I mean,
there would probably
maybe
be
not
only one team.
Yeah, maybe not 3 teams.
I could see only the LA Kings.
Maybe it could be,
maybe they'd be the LA Generals or something. I don't know. Maybe they would change their name.
Now Kyle's just switching everything. But so right now we're in a very interesting age.
Yep.
Alexander Ovechkin.
Yep.
Is going, unless something crazy happens, is going to beat Gretzky's goal record.
I think last time I checked, he was 10 goals away. He might be 9 now.
I think he's 9 goals away.
But he's projected to beat the record somewhere around April. I think April 12th to 16th.
And who knows? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, he had a hat trick. Yeah. He was hurt for a while because he probably would have already beat it, but he was hurt for a while.
Yep. Yeah,
they're killing it. He was the goal leader when he got hurt.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy because I think a lot of people didn't think that this was going to be able to happen. I don't think. Yeah. However, one of the record, if you look at all of Gretzky's records, this would be the one that would get beat, kind of thing. But is Ovechkin better than Gretzky at scoring? Because Gretzky was great, amazing all around. Yes. Assists especially.
Yeah.
Is Ovechkin or Gretzky better at scoring?
I think Ovechkin for sure. So there's a thing that I found out when I was researching all this stuff about Gretzky that I think is very important to say. The goaltending in Gretzky's area was nothing compared to what Ovechkin is seeing on a night-to-night basis. Butterfly goalies were not a thing. That wasn't an
I don't know this for sure, but it's popping into my head when you say that. I think Patrick Waugh might have started the butterfly.
Yeah.
Or one of the top ones. Because he was notorious for it. And so I feel like he might have started it.
So it's like, I'm not saying that back then goalies sucked or like the defense sucked back in like Gretzky's era because they were good. They were still like solid players, but they were nothing compared to like what today is. Like the
butterfly just going down to that
alone
is insane.
It's like it takes away the 5-hole, and that alone probably takes.
Well, and your legs pop out, and so it's like
exactly. It's one of the greatest. Like so many hockey goalies now use it.
So say Gretzky's in the league the same years that Ovechkin is. Do you think Gretzky's still better?
I think he would have been better in assists and.
So you don't think he would have been even that close in goals though?
No, I think
because even with his assists, if you're saying the goaltending, then he's not getting as many assists because they're not as easy to score as well.
Well, I mean, in this scenario, are we putting Gretzky on like a team now?
Yeah. So
or are we saying like
say Gretzky has Ovechkin's team, Ovechkin like didn't exist, it's Gretzky instead of Ovechkin.
Yeah. I think Ovechkin or
like who do you think would have better stats?
I think Ovechkin would still have more goals because I think he naturally is a better goal scorer. Mm-hmm. But
you think overall Gretzky's a better player?
Gretzky is still a better player.
You think he's still the GOAT?
I think so. I don't care what Ovechkin does. He could score 1,000 goals, and I don't think Ovechkin will ever be the GOAT.
Not even consider the GOAT. Do you think Gretzky's still the GOAT if he is in that NHL?
Yeah, I think so.
I think as well. It would definitely. I don't think he has as mind-boggling stats.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But I think he's still considered the GOAT. Just the way he moved and everything like that. And his IQ on the ice is also, he knows where people are going to be. He knows how they're going to like react. And I'm sure he would have reacted to different goalies and defense because obviously he would have been like looking at them as well. Yeah. And so I'm sure he would have done good with that. But it is kind of crazy. Like we're going to be in the era that we see one of Gretzky's big records get broke.
Yeah.
And it's fun. We just saw LeBron take over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's most points
now
ever.
He's got 50K in points, but
with regular season and postseason. But
I will say cool. Real quick, like Ovechkin, if he was in Gretzky's area, he would have well over 1,000 goals, maybe 1,500 or something like.
You think that many?
I think like it would be insane. Like Ovechkin he's played a ton of years too.
Oh yeah, he definitely has.
I think he could be in that, like definitely over 1,000. I think it'd be huge, like 1,200 maybe.
That's so many goals.
It is, but it's like that's just how good of a player Ovechkin is, and how good of a player Wayne Gretzky was, and you guys can maybe clown me in the comments, but I think
1,500 goals.
Yeah.
He'll probably get somewhere around 900. Who knows if he's going to play next year, but he'll probably finish this season close to 900. You think he's going to get 600 more goals?
It sounds crazy, I know, but I just think maybe not 1,500, but maybe 1,200. Like 300 more goals than what he has. But
yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's fun to like think about, and that's where it's hard to like with the GOAT, because there's just different eras, and same thing with baseball, same thing with basketball, same thing with hockey. You know, it's just football, same thing. It's a different game every once in a while. You know, like right now in the NBA, threes are all kind like the big man's not as big kind of thing. Hockey, it's like you said, the goalies back then, it wasn't as much. There's not as much movement for the goalies kind of thing. Yeah. You know, you're not blocking as much. And I'm sure the pads have gotten a little bit bigger as well kind of thing, you know. And so it's fun to think. But let us know what you guys think. What if Gretzky stayed in Edmonton? What if he would have went somewhere else? Who knows? Because, you know, maybe he would have went to Montreal. I don't think they would have ever sent him to somewhere else in Canada, because then it would have been even worse. Well, actually, maybe it would have been better. I don't know. But
maybe
just let us know what you guys think. It was fun looking at this, because this is the first one that neither of us really lived through. I know you haven't really lived through a lot of the stuff we've talked, but I remember a lot more of it kind of thing. I was like young, but I remember a lot of it. So we didn't really live through any of this.
I think this has been one of my favorite episodes to do, though.
Just to learn more about and seeing the stats, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, by the way. I want to do a what if on Joey Chestnut.
Okay.
That'd be fun, you know? And so his stats are like, he's the Wayne Gretzky of competitive eating.
Yeah. Or not just hot dogs. Yeah, he eats everything.
Exactly. I don't know how we'll do it, but let us know if you guys want us to do another topic, what if, whatever, you know, we'll do it. And we hope you guys have a great week and enjoyed the show.
Peace.